Hello everyone. The saga continues about my healing process, and it really turns out it's really become quite multifaceted, multidimensional, if you will. And let me see, I'll go back to the second day. I had the fracture set somewhat and casted, and I was set up for a pre-op appointment 4 days later. So I prepared myself for that appointment. I spent the 3 days doing all the self-healing techniques I talked about before, and prepared myself for how to address the orthopedic surgeon in order to get what I wanted and what did I really want, and all of those things. And what I decided was, I don't want surgery, and my intuition was telling me that I wasn't going to need surgery. I remember after my healing session, my energy healing session, we were talking about it, and we both felt that after the alignment, that's what I needed, was for the surgeon to put it into an alignment. The body was going to be able to take over from there and heal perfectly. So I decided I was going to trust that, although, again, I was still having some difficulty with trusting that. But I just kept, meditating on it and focusing on my healing. And I decided, okay, I'll go in Monday and I'll tell him I want an x-ray. I would like to see, how it looks now before I decide to have surgery the next day. Well, he refused to do the x-ray. And there was quite a discussion that went on. And it wasn't easy because I guess because this was my world, and I believed in it for a long time. So it was about letting go of that old paradigm, that old thinking around traumatic injuries. So I knew I had to be prepared going in. And I went in and he refused, and I said, well, I just feel like it's going to heal on its own, and I really would like to have the information. He went through a lot of different tactics to convince me to have surgery. Running down the list of his credentials, letting me know he was set up to be surgeon on call for President Clinton at one time, telling me he didn't want to do the x-ray because he didn't want to cause a malignancy. There were many things, and I just said, this isn't about you. This isn't about your qualifications as a surgeon. I said, this is about my healing process. I said, and I want to trust, and I do trust, the innate healing ability of my body, and that's the road I want to go down. And he didn't like that. He said, well, because of his circumstances of moving and other personal things, that he wasn't going to be able to put me on the schedule later, so he was just going to transfer me to someone else in the practice. So he wrote a note, and I had to sign it, which I did. And this was all, very scary for me, but I knew in my heart that I was doing the right thing. And he said, do you want me to make an appointment for you with one of my partners? I said, no. I have a second opinion lined up already with someone else outside of this practice. So I went home. I heard from my second opinion, which said, yes, it's possible for you to allow this to heal on its own. So yay, confirmation from another orthopedic surgeon. But he wouldn't take me as his patient. So then I had to go back to that practice, and I asked for someone who would treat me conservatively, and I had an appointment the next day, and he took an x-ray right away. I didn't even have to ask for it, and he said everything's in alignment. And honestly, I looked at that x-ray, and between what it looked like on the CT scan and 4 days past to what it looked like on that x-ray was a world of difference. So I did see the CT scan at the pre-op appointment, which was kind of scary as well. So it didn't look good, and I was a little worried that maybe I was making the wrong choice at the time. I forgot to tell you that part. So back to this appointment, looking at this, every fracture line was completely lined up. There was one little tidbit, little bone fragment sticking out, and there was some cloudiness, which he said was like bone fragments or like pieces that happened during a crushing injury. So my radius is a little bit shorter, and he said it'll probably heal that way. And there's a crack in my ulna, but that's not a big concern. That was never really displaced. So I'm allowing the healing to take place. He's okay with it. I'm okay with it. And now I'm in the process of actually allowing my blueprint to create my radius in its original length. So that's what I'm expecting to see in the long run. It's been a little painful, off and on. I can't do a whole lot. I've continued with the same healing process. So after I got over the shock of what happened in the office, and him being so pushy, I started feeling like, wow, this was more than just about my healing process. This was actually an opportunity to stand in my sovereignty and look out for myself and what's best for me and what's for the highest good, and owning it and standing it against the patriarchy, the whole system, the medical care system. The doctors are controlled. It's all caught up into, let's create this money-making wheel, and all kinds of other things we can talk about, but basically it's the patriarchy. And I'm not talking about him being a male doctor and me being female. I'm talking about just the patriarchy and the people. I represented the people. He represents the patriarchy. And I did not give my power away to that. And that was a blessing. And that helps to change the collective energy of that. And I never really gave that a thought till maybe 2 days later. I just kind of came in like, wow, that was important. So for that reason alone, it was worthwhile to have this experience. But I also, am clearing up any beliefs I have around my healing abilities and my self-healing. And, it's clearing away my old athletic trainer type views, but I'm really getting to practice healing on myself. And I'm really honoring this process. And the other connection is with Gaia and unity consciousness. Not just Gaia, it's the whole, it's the whole connection. It all serves. We serve it serves us. We're all one. It's all one. So it's, Sophia, the angels, the ascended masters, the multiverses, on and on and on, the energy of it all, Gaia's energy, we're all one. So lately I've had a focus on embracing the elements, into my life and creating a relationship with the elements, and that is deepening. And that's partly what this is about too, is really accepting the consciousness of the elements of earth, air, fire, and water as part of this whole process, as part of us. That's our body's made of the earth. I'm having this contemplation of the bones are the densest part of our body, but yet, and they're also like lightning rods, the fibers are vertical mostly, and the bone's very strong and very dense. So that's a strong earth element. And I just did a meditation today of connecting in with the earth element, not just Gaia. Like Gaia, I think of as the overall spiritual, energetic body of the earth, but the earth element herself. She makes up all of our bodies, all of the elements of our bodies. So sitting and meditating and letting my chakras connect in with her, with the earth, sending my roots down into her and saying, thank you, I love you, we are one. I want to harmonize our energies. I want to receive from you what I need to receive from you to be in my optimal health. And I also want to give to you what I can give to you for your optimal health. And this is a union. And this is unity consciousness. So just today, it was mostly about my connection with the earth energy and its consciousness. So I'm doing that with each element. And it's expanding. And I'm remembering and I'm honoring all of this process. So there may have been another aspect to this healing that I'm not talking about, but for right now, I wanted to get that out, and I wanted to remember how it all went down in the office so I could tell you. And, you know, in the office, I was scared. I was like, wow, I have to do this. I have to stand up for myself. I have to say no. I have to say no. I have to say no. And I did. And I left there and I was like, oh my God, what did I just do? What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing because I don't even know. So I just trusted, you know, it's like total surrender. You know, the feeling was in my heart to trust that, you know, I had that decision before I went in. I felt it was still there while I was in there. And I thought, I'm just trusting it. I don't know how or why, how it's going to work out or, you know, any of this. But I have to walk out of that office saying no. And I did. That was scary for me. You know, it might not be so scary for someone else, but that was scary for me to do all that. So, God bless you all. Thank you. I'm grateful to be able to share this journey with you, and I hope it helps open you up and expand you as well into your journeys. Thank you. Bye.